Swamiji, unmute.
Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Kataksha Kirana Chanta Naman Mohabdhaye Namaha.
Kataksha Kirana Chanta Naman Mohabdaye Namaha.
Anantananda Krishnaya Jagan Mangalamurtaye.
Anantananda Krishnaya Jagan Mangalamurtaye.
Right. We were looking at these verses, I think 18 we were on, right?
Yeah.
Did we do any reading on 18 at all? We'll start from the beginning.
We did up to first paragraph, 186.
Yeah.
186 first para we completed.
Second para we have to start.
Okay. Just to keep the continuity, would you like to start from the beginning of verse 18? Who will like to read?
I read last time, Swamiji, if anybody else can volunteer.
Ashokji.
Want me to read the verse?
No, start from where Swamiji is starting, verse 18.
Yeah. Swamiji, yes, everything Karaga Vedas.
Karaka Veda.
Karaka Veda.
Questionnaire. But there's a questionnaire there, no?
Yeah.
Beginning
Questionnaire.
with Vidya.
So beginning with avidya, everything else that is there is born of avidya. And according to you, it is kalpita. When Advaita is kalpita, then everything born of it is also kalpita.
That's clear, no?
Avidya.
Avidya is our Mula Karanam. The entire Jagat, entire cosmos, universe, whatever you want to call it, is I follow from there only. And therefore everything is only Kalpita Mithya. Which is the correct statement he's making. He's not wrong.
Swamiji, yes, everything, Karaga Vedas, etc. are Kalpita. Questionnaire. If all the Karaga Vedas are Kalpita, then you have to say they are all Mithya.
Correct.
Swamiji, yes, they are all Mithya. Questionnaire. If they are all Mithya, Kalpita, they are not real. If they are not real, I see a problem here, because by the same argument, Moksha Shastra is also unreal. Moksha Shastra is unreal and Karma Shastra is also unreal. And the Karma Shastra is not an ordinary Shastra. It is also Pramana. There is such a thing as Niyoga. Then Niyoga Vishaya, like Yaga, is there. Then a Karta, a doer, is there. The Yaga, the ritual is there. Surgadi Phalam also is there. That is Niyoga Phalam. All these things are real. The Shastra looks at the whole thing as real alone. Then it enjoins you to do this karma and not to do that karma. If you say Karma Shastra is also unreal, Karma Kanda becomes Mithya. Your moksha is also Mithya, because you say all avidya karmas are kalpita.
Avidya
karyas are kalpita. Moksha is for whom? For Baddha. For according to you, the bondage also is kalpita. If your bondage is kalpita, your moksha also is kalpita. Then there cannot be any real moksha at all. When there is no real moksha, you will have mithya moksha. If it is mithya moksha, it means that you had some kind of moksha for some time, some temporary moksha. So the fun of moksha you had for some time, then the fun time is over. Like that fellow who had the fun of having a cup of coffee.
Very logical sounding argument. But how do you answer something like this? Where is he missing? What is the point he's missing? The argument is everything is mithya. Really speaking, then therefore, the Vedas are also mithya. What is in the Vedas are also mithya. And therefore, if they are mithya, moksha is also mithya. How do you answer somebody like him?
I have a point here. Like if something is born in time, goes off in time, but moksha is a nitya moksha only. Then it is not something born in today and tomorrow it is not there.
Correct. Absolutely right. It is not something which is, everything else is born. Moksha and the Satya Vastu are not born. They were always there. They will always will be there. Even Vedas, I mean, correctly speaking, Vedas are also what Mundaka Upanishad calls Aparavidya. All Vedas are Aparavidya. And
except only is Paravidya. That is
sorry?
Brahman.
Yeah, that's only Paravidya. Mandukya Karaka, very beautiful. First time I read it, it hit like a bullet. What Shishya, what Guru? Everything is Mithya. And we talk so much about saying we must have a Guru, we must have this kind of Guru to gain moksha. Everything is Mithya. Nothing is real.
This means the whole stock barrel, love stock barrel.
Completely everything is Mithya. It's only a matter of understanding. That is all there is. That moksha remains, the satyam remains. And that understanding means that all the wrong notions that I have born of avidya, I remove. So what happens? When you look at the perspective from within the Jagat, the Vyavarika perspective, everything looks real. That's why they call mithya. They are sat asatbhyam anirvachaniyam. They look real. But when you are able to pull yourself out of the system and look at it from outside the system, they look like a dream. Then they're not real. So it really is an understanding from, that's why we say, no, the person who is in the dream, he is also in the dream. The dreamer is in the dream. A dream fellow, dream Devadatta. That dream Devadatta's experience in the dream are all real. In the dream, he can never understand he's in a dream. He can never understand that. Only when he's able to come out of the dream, oh, that was a dream. That was nothing. Or a nightmare, whatever it is. So here also the same thing he's saying, this is Mahanidra. A dream is usually, I think, 30 seconds or something, all the dream is. In that we build whole time frame, we build days, weeks, months, because that is dream time. But compared to the waking time, it's a few seconds, 30, 40 seconds, something like that. They measure it by what they call REM, rapid eye movement. And therefore, that in that dream, whatever happens in the dream is real. In the dream. What happened, and that will never be known unless you can come out of the dream. If this is also dream or dream-like, I don't want to call it a dream, then unless I can pull myself out of this, how am I going to understand this? I have the same problem. So it has to be done cognitive. That is where Shraddha becomes so important. Shraddha in the Shastra and acceptance of the Shastra as a pramana and the Guru Vakya as a pramana. We begin with that. And then in time, with adequate Shravana Manana and Nidhyasanam, one is able to see the Paramathika perspective. But if you just read this, it sounds very logical what he's saying. Yeah.
Do you remember the story? This fellow went to this hell, a special hell, Naraga. He went to this Naraga and was asked by the conductor, the one who took him there, whose job is to take him to Naraga. You can choose between these three. All the three of them were pits. In one pit, fellows were all standing neck deep in filth, which was stinking. This person was asked by conductor, "Do you want to get in here?" He said no. Then he went to the second one. The second pit was full of biting insects, varieties of insects creeping all over, and people bleeding, crying, and screaming were standing there. "Do you want to enter into this?" The second choice. He said no, no way. Then he was given a third choice, which looked like a good choice. He saw the people were all standing there and they were all having a cup of coffee. Since everyone was having a cup of coffee, this person thought that this is the better one of the three. And then he saw that it is also filthy pit, but the filth is less than knee deep. He has to stay there for some time only, maybe a day or two. That is all. You know, some small Baba has to be exhausted. So he thought, all right, this place is okay. There is coffee here. Standing there, I can also have coffee. This is okay. Meanwhile, he was asked. So there are the three choices. Which is the one that you want? He said this one. The conductor said, all right, get in. He got in. He also had a cup of coffee. Then afterwards, the fellow, a big burly fellow who was standing there said, okay, coffee time is over. All of you has to stand on your head now. This coffee time is called fun time. So you had some fun time. So like the coffee break, moksha would also be fun for some time. And then again you get into samsara. So this moksha becomes a temporary moksha. If it is mithya, mithya means it is anitya. Therefore, moksha is not possible, moksha being mithya. The answer to this is given now. I'll read the verse. Atma jnana mahanindra. Atma jnana mahan.
Atma jnanam, it is
Okay.
Atma ajnanam. Atma jnanam.
Atma jnana mahanidra. Jrumbidesmin jaganmaye. Dirga swapne spuranyede. Swarga mokshadi vibrabhaha.
Anybody want to try and make the meaning of this? Looks fairly straightforward. What is the meaning? Atma jnana mahanidra jrumbite asmin jaganmaye dirga swapne swarantyete swarga mokshadi vibhramaha. Anybody want to make an attempt at what it means? But the very simple. Atma ajnana mahanidra.
It's like a sleep. It's
Long
a dream.
sleep. Mahanidra. Or a long dream. In this case, like I said, the dream normally lasts only a few seconds. Few seconds of waking time. This is Mahanidra. We are in this Anadikale. I don't know how many janmas we are in this Ajnanam. In this Ajnanam, Swapna like Ajnanam. So it's Mahanidra. In this Mahanidra, born of Ajnanam, Atma Ajnanam, not knowing the self, that is what creates the samsara. Atma Ajnanam, Jrumbite, Asmin Jaganmaye. Jrumbite, actually the word Jrumba has many meanings. One of them is yawn. But here the meaning is more like, actually, jrimbi is the dhatu, to gape, jrimbi. But here it means to extend, to project. So, jimbite asmin jaganmaye. This as though projects a complete jagat. Exactly the way a waker, when he goes to sleep and to dream state, projects an entirely new jagat. Like that, this ajnana-born Mahanidra projects a complete prapancham that we experience here, which should say it is real. All this is real. My feelings are real. My happiness is real. My loss is real. My everything is real. These days, everywhere, I think it's getting very, very hot. Even Coimbatore, which normally doesn't get very hot, is getting very hot. It's real. Yes, as long as you see it from within this dreamlike state, it is real. Exactly the way the fellow in the Devadatta in the dream sees everything that's as real, this also looks like real. So, Mahanidra Jrimbite Asmin Jaganmaye Dirga Swapne Spurantyete Swarga Mokshadi Vibhramaha. Everything, this whole Jagat includes not only the earth, not only all the sentient, insentient beings on the earth, but also all the other cosmic bodies and the space in between, everything. All of them, including moksha, not moksha, sorry, including swarga.
Akasha.
Akasha also, swarga. All of them included in this, all of them are mithya. They're all part of the same swapna-like state. In that swapna-like state, there are people who will work very hard, follow all the injunctions of the Veda, because they say, that is what I've been taught to do, because that way I will gain Swargaloka. I want to go to Swargaloka. Why do you want to go to Swargaloka? Because Shastra says Swargaloka is a loka of Sukha. Oh, so you want Sukha essentially. What Sukha you are giving up here, you want to make up for it by going to Swargaloka, enjoying the same Sukha. What you might think of as postponed Sukha. You want that only. But listen, the same Shastra which tells you that Swargaloka is a Sukhaloka also tells you that that is also Anitya. That is also part of samsara. That is also part of the same dreamlike state. If you really want Sukha, that is also available to you. Same Shastra says that Sukha is available because you are the Sukha. You are Sukha Swarupa. All you have to do is recognize yourself correctly. Instead of looking at that, because that is too subtle, too difficult to understand, I can understand this. If you do this in this life, I will go to Swargaloka. I can understand. I don't have to put any effort to understand. I have to put a lot of effort to do it. All the karma I have to do. Daily karma I have to do. Agnihotra, the karma I have to do. Nachiketa, the karma I have to do. So it is a lot of effort. And all your contemporaries, your schoolmates, your classmates, those fellows are enjoying themselves because they are not doing any karma. They are out there earning money. You are spending a significant portion of your life doing vihita karma. No, I'm doing this because I want to go to Swargaloka. Don't they want to go to Swargaloka? They would like to go to Swargaloka, but they're not sure of that. They'd rather have a bird in hand than two in the bush. So, Dirga Swapne Spurantyete. This projects, manifests itself, Spuranti, shines forth as a Swarga Mokshadi Vibhrama. Even Moksha is like that. Seen from within, Moksha is like that. Seen from within the dream, The fellow who doesn't understand there's a waking state, for him there is no waking state. It is just, I told you, the Karaka of Mandika Upanishad, Bodhabhadacharya, amazing text, really hits you. Not only that, just looking at this, Shankaracharya's Atmashatkam says the same thing. This Dashashloki says the same thing. I was looking at that. Na mata pita va na deva na loka. No mata, no pita, no leva, no loka. Nothing is there. When seen correctly. Na veda, na yajna, na tirtham bruvanti. There is nothing. Only thing is want to change one's perspective. Therefore, in answer to that question that been raised by the fellow who raised the objection, you have to understand that there is another perspective. Just like you understand that in the dream there is a perspective and there is a waking perspective, which as long as you are stuck in the dream, you cannot see. Like that, in this dream-like state also, you cannot see that as long as you're stuck here. How do you get out of it? First, have Shraddha in the Shastra, accept it as a Pramana, and Shastra Guru Vakyeshu Shraddha, and follow what it says in terms of understanding. Once you accept it as a Pramana, the beauty is you don't have to do much. You just have to expose yourself to the Pramana. Just like when you're walking and there's something nice smelling, in season, some of these flowers, Ratkirani says, so beautiful at night. You don't have to do anything. You just are there. The Pramana is there, the nose is there, the smell comes and you enjoy it. You have to do nothing. This Pramana is also like that. You just allow the Pramana to operate as it should operate. You do nothing. You don't really have to put in your will or your effort. Effort is only to the extent of recognizing moksha and presenting yourself, once you have the Guru and the Shastra, to do Shravanam. Make sure there are no distractions. So the meaning is fairly straightforward, except for a couple of words which may not be very easily known. Trimbite in the shloka, Dakshinamurti shloka also says, no? Bijasyantarivankuro jagadidam prang nirvikalpam punaha maya kalpita desha kala kalana vaichitya chitrikritam maya viva vrjumbayati maha yogi vaya swechaya. That also same meaning. Excellent. Okay, shall we continue reading?
Yeah. This moksha, if it is an agantuka.
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 Footnote I can see here. You can read the footnote also.
As an agantuka is an event in time. It is adventitious. It is an effect. Adventitious. It is an effect which depends on some nimitta, a cause, and any effect is vikara. Is a vikara, just a name and form, and has no being independent of its cause. Therefore, it is mithya. Whether a thing has already manifest or is yet to manifest, both are in time, limited in time. So moksha, if it is an event which has either happened or will happen, it is mithya, it will go away.
The literal meaning of agantuka, you can actually sense the meaning, that which comes and goes. It is in a time scale. It comes, it may have come already and it will go, or it may have come and gone, or it will come later and come and go. But on the time scale, something that will come and go is mithya.
In Hindi, they say, no, ayaram, gayaram.
Ayaram, gayaram. So it is if this moksha is agantuka, then what happens?
Comes and goes.
If it has come in time, then it is mithya. And if it is yet to come, even then it is mithya. Both are mithya. So that we have read the note. But if it is not an agantuka, then I got moksha is mithya, and it will not go because it did not come in the first place. Then that one got moksha is a mithya statement because moksha was already there. So Soganda
Swakantha abharanavat.
So Kanta
If you
Abharanavat.
break it, the meaning becomes very clear. Swakantha abharanavat. Like you're wearing the necklace, Swakantha, you don't know you're wearing it. Sometimes it happens, especially if it has gone behind. You start searching for it all over the place, not knowing that it's right there in your neck. So that's the meaning. Swakantha abharanavat. I think the more common example given is glasses. You wear the glasses, you read, and then you want to see something else, you put it up here, and then start searching with the glasses everywhere. Hello?
My
That's
granddaughter.
a student.
My granddaughter.
Very nice. We
I
get
make her
some
listen.
students here. In fact, yesterday, two new children came. One is in the 3rd standard, one in the 4th standard. They've never had any exposure to these things. They've just come yesterday. Okay, let's continue.
If it is Nitya Siddhya Atma and Moksha is non-separate from the Atma, then Atma is Nitya Mukta. You do not get Moksha, therefore there is no gain of Mithya Moksha. There is only Mithya Moksha. There is only Ajnana Nivritti.
Words like this that appear, most of the words in Sanskrit are also known words in most Indian languages. So you should be able to make out. I'm not a great Sanskrit scholar, okay? I have not studied Vyakarana thing in very great depth, purely by reading and trying to get the sense of the words. One way of making sure that you get a little practice on that is, whenever you chant any sloka, try and see if you can make out the meaning. There'll be an odd word here, an odd word there, which you may not know. You can look that up in the dictionary. In time, you will find that it becomes easier and easier to figure out the meaning of these words. Yeah.
Sorry, I had to go.
Yeah.
Bondage was Mithya, and release from that Mithya bondage is called Moksha. It is like waking up from a dream. The whole thing is like waking up from a dream. Even though there is no real arrival of moksha, the reality of moksha is not in doubt because Nitya Mukta Atma. Nitya Muktaha Atma. The sense of bondage, born of ignorance alone, goes away. That is called waking up to the reality of being Mukta. Therefore, there is no such thing as the real arrival of moksha. If it was a real arrival, then alone it could go away in keeping with your argument. However, it cannot go away because it never came. You can also say that if it had never come, then there is no moksha, because it is already an accomplished fact. Something else, something kalpita, goes away. There is a sense of bondage which goes away.
Even as you're reading this, another thought occurred to me. Have you all seen, many times you get these pictures and you can see 3 dimensions in that. Many of them, we have some of them here. Till you get it, You keep struggling, you can't see the three dimensions. Just doesn't appear. But once you've got it, then it becomes very easy. Every time you see it, you can see it. Then there's no going away. The three dimensions will never go away. If it goes away, you look at it, it's there. Something like that. This has occurred to me as another example of this moksha not going away. It is just the removal of whatever is covering that. That three dimensions already there built into that picture. It is not as if you bring in a new three dimension, third dimension. Like that here also, moksha is an established, already existing fact, siddhavastu. So you just have to be able to see it. Once you see it, then it never goes away after that. Because it is not something which comes at any given point of time. Only the ajnana nivritti takes place.
What you said, Swamiji, that is sold as Divya Drishti. That picture is sold as Divya Drishti. It's available in UP. Somebody gifted me also one.
I've seen some of them very good, some of them not so great. One we have, I picked up in Nepal of a Buddha. Excellent, actually. Once you get it, I mean, it's like magic. Every time you look at it, suddenly you see the whole thing in three dimensions. It really is like magic. Maya. And once you know the Maya, you are the Mayavi.
It's very difficult to get in first place.
First time it doesn't come easily. But I can teach you a technique for that also.
Look at your own image.
I learned a technique.
Look at your own image.
Correct. Somebody taught me that. Don't look at the picture. Don't look behind the picture. Yeah.
Then the next question is raised. If one was bound before, one can be bound later also, because Atma is subject to bondage. No, there was no real bondage.
Between the statement he makes, Atma is subject to bondage. Atma is never subject to bondage. But that is the kind of mistaken statement people make and stick with it. Atma is never subject to bondage. It's a mistake. It's a notional error.
No, there was no real bondage. Between the bondage, samsara, and the Atma, there is one more factor. What is that factor? Avidya. That is why the means for moksha is not yoga, where yoga means manipulating of the mind. Here we are not manipulating the mind. We are only taking care of avidya.
Correct. No amount of physical or mental karma can give us moksha. Therefore, no yoga, no all this puja, etc. cannot give you moksha. What it can give you is the preparation, the punya necessary for moksha. And therefore it is necessary, you cannot bypass it. You can never bypass Ishvara. Ishvara Anugraha is important.
Avidya is the cause, and that avidya can only go. It cannot come back. If it is not there to come back. It is not that avidya goes away to some place and comes back. There is no going away. Avidya itself being mithya, it just disappears. That is why it is called as avasyayaha.
Avasyayaha. Where did we read this word? We have read this word.
In the previous verse.
Previous verse.
Yes.
And what does avasyayaha mean?
Mist?
Yes.
It's like mist.
Something like a mist.
Mist.
It disappears. Yeah.
Comes and goes. Comes and goes, Swami.
Sorry?
Comes and goes.
Yeah, it is like, the example given in that was like the mist which disappears, or the fog which disappears once the sun comes up. That is the example given in that, I think, one or two verses before this, no?
Therefore, he says, Atma Jnana Mahanidra Jrimbide Asmin Jaganmaye Dirgha Swapne Ete Vibramaha. It is a dream, sir. Dirgha Swapna means a long drawn dream. Swapna implies a Swapna Karta, and that is the Atma.
This is one of the problems we have with words. Swapna Karta is Atma. Hey, Atma is not a Karta of any type. Swapna Karta or otherwise. It is not even that Brahmaji is sitting there and dreaming the whole Jagat. It's not even that. It is only an example to tell us that this is like a dream state. And since we experience dream state, we know what happens in the dream state, we know how to get out of the dream state, we can extend that logic and say, I can get out of this dreamlike state also. But words that we use, therefore Swamiji says Swapna. Normally Swamiji is very careful about words like this. But when the editing is probably gone, Swapna implies a Swapna Karta, and that is the Atma. You must understand what he's trying to say. Yeah.
For this Swapna experience, Atma should not be known like in dream. You should not know the waker. If you are awake, if you know the waker, you cannot have a dream. Therefore, you should not know the waker in order to dream. Atmajnana Mahanidra Jimbade Swapne. Mahanidra means a long sleep. Atmajnanam, ignorance of the Atma, is the long sleep.
What is the equivalent? For example, here he says, Atmajnanam is the Atmajnanam, the ignorance of the Atma, is the long sleep. In a dream state that we know, what is it that we don't know? What is the ignorance? Ignorance of what?
Self. My
Our
own
being,
self.
Brahman.
No,
That
ourself.
is here. From current state, we don't know Brahman, therefore Brahma Jnanam is not there. That becomes the root cause of our avidya. But in a dream, what is it that we don't know?
Don't know the
We
self
don't know
of the
that we
waker.
ourselves.
That we are in dream, we do not know. That we are in
That-
dream.
That you don't know the waker.
Yeah.
In the dream state, you don't know the waker.
Yeah.
Therefore, everything in the dream state is only in the dream state.
We think the dream is real in dream.
Therefore,
While
everything looks
dreaming.
clear. The same way here, we don't know our real state being Ekameva Advitya Brahman. And as long as that ignorance is there, we are stuck in this samsara. Just like we are stuck in the dream because we don't know the waker. We have ignorance of the waker.
Atma Ajnanam
We
means
even say, in the dream, I am real. I don't know that I am not that Devadatta. I am in fact the waking Devadatta. Like that here also, I think I am this, whatever you call it, this Devadatta, not knowing that I am not this Devadatta, I am Satchidananda Brahman. Same parallel. Yeah.
Atma Ajnanam means Atma is the Vishaya for which Ajnana, Atma Egatva Ajnana. Atma Egatva Vishaye, Atma is limitless. Purnam, Satyam, Jnanam, Anandam, Brahma, Idi Asmin Vishaye, Yad Ajnanam. Ignorance of the limitless Swarupa of Atma is Atma Ajnanam, and it is Mahadi Nidra. A long drawn
Mahati
Nidra. A long drawn Nidra. Mahadi means Anadi. It has no beginning. Mahanidra is without beginning. Anadikalam
Anadikalam
Arabhya Pravrittavad. This Nidra is Anadi Nidra.
Or Mahati Nidra.
Mahadi Nidra.
You have to understand this very easily. In the dream, the Devadatta knows himself as the dream Devadatta. That is all he knows. What he does not know is that he is much, much bigger than that. He is the waking Devadatta. This dream is a temporary state. This dream Devadatta will go away. What he is the waking Devadatta, which is a much bigger thing. Now, Swamiji once told me, and I think it's a wonderful input for all of us, if you are in difficulty of any kind in the Jagat, in this world, remind yourself that this you, whatever your name is, Devadatta, is not really you. You are much bigger than this. You are truly Brahman. And in a very simplistic way, Swamiji said this to me a long time ago. And so powerful a statement. Just remember that you are much bigger than all the little problems that you face with people, with situations. He said, you are much, this was before I took sannyasa. When I explained the problem to him, he said, Ganesh, you are much bigger than all these, don't worry. It struck me like all of us can use that. Even to deal with all these petty problems we come across. Therefore, the dreaming Devadatta, in the dream, the Devadatta in the dream does not know he's bigger than that. We here, the Devadatta and the waking does not know he's much bigger than that. All you got to learn that.
There's a very popular book called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and it's all the small stuff.
Correct. There's all small stuff. They're talking about small stuff being, there are many other ways of looking at it. Sometimes you sit in front of the ocean, in the beach, and you look at the thing and you say, what am I cribbing about these little problems? My rent has not been paid, my something, this. So these are huge. That's why mountains, large water bodies give you a sense of proportion.
Yeah.
Same thing with small problems. You don't sweat the small issues. He says you tackle the real big things. We are saying there's only one real big thing, and that is yourself. It's a good book. I mean, it's good, very practical book in terms of trying to not get suckered by these small problems.
Yeah, it gives you a perspective.
Yes.
Gives you a different.
Some of these books, I mean, although they are, let's say, half understood, but they're very good for even that one, The Power of Now. It's also a very, very good book. Like the Ramesh book, worth reading. And once you have this perspective, the reading of that becomes also very nice, because then you can know exactly how far they will take you and where you can go further. Yeah.
But this fellow is not sleeping all the time. He goes on dreaming, waking up and dreaming. Viksheba Shaktihi Lingadi Brahmadantam.
You break it, it becomes much easier to understand. Brahmanda Antam, till the end of Brahmanda.
Jagat Srech.
Sujait.
It is basic.
Here, Vikshepa Shaktihi. There are two Shaktis of Maya which you see everywhere in this Jagat, right? There is a Avarana Shakti.
Avarana Shakti and Vikshepa Shakti.
Avarana Shakti is what covers what is to be known.
Covering.
And Vikshepa Shakti, in that place, something else is projected. Something else is Sujait. Like that, in dream also what happens? In dream, the real you, from a Laukika perspective, the waking you is covered. You don't know the waking you. In place of that, you project a dream view. There's a vikshepa. And the whole Jagat consisting of living things, non-living things, big things, small things, near things, far things, everything. All those are projections, vikshepa. So if you take the same analogy here, everything is a projection. Of what? Of ajnanam. Maya. Everything is a projection. What is covered is your Atmajnanam. What is projected instead is everything else, including your sense of I. So you say, when he says, Vikshepa Shaktihi Lingadi Brahmandantam. Linga Adi. Linga, what is Linga?
Indicator.
Huh?
Indicator.
Body?
Yeah, one means
Not
indicator, but Linga also means Sukshma. Linga Sharira. When this whole Jagat is projected, what first gets projected are the Sukshmas, right? Your first 5 bhutas are all Sukshma only. And the collective for that is called Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha is called Linga, the Sukshma beginning of the Jagat. Then you have all the processes and you have the sthulas coming through. Then you have Virat. The collective of all the sthula is called Virat. So and then Brahmaji comes, Brahmaji creates everything else. So you have the Sukshma and Brahmaji. Brahmanda. The whole Jagat is Brahmanda. So Linga Adi, starting from Linga Sharira to the entire cosmos, Brahmanda Anta. So the Vikshepa Shakti projects everything from Linga Adi to Brahmandantam. Jagat state, the whole Jagat is there, everything is projected, manifest. Yeah.
Therefore, this fellow, samsari, wakes up. Wakes up means Ardha Vikasha. Ajnanam is there, so the person only has Ardha Vikasa. Purna Vikasa is not there. Purna Vikasa is to understand I am Purna Atma. Because Atma Ajnana is there is no Purna Vikasa. He has only Ardha Vikasa. Ardha Vikasa means the fellow is half awake, dreaming. This waking life also is dream-like. There is a projection, and what is projected in this dream-like life that he tells. Atmajnana Mahanidra Jrimbide Nidraya Vijrimbide Utpanne, that which has come out, is projected out of this Atma Ajnana alone is Idam Jagat. In this Jagat, Asmin Jaganmaye, Jagat Rube, Jagat Ruba Vikare, what have we got? Swarga, Mokshadi, Vibramaha, but then that requires the whole infrastructure which is indicated by Adipada. In the Jagat, we had Pramada, Pramana, Prameya, Karta, Karma, Niyoga, etc. And all these things are taken as real. Ete Dirgha Swapne Asmin Jaganmaye Spuranti. In this long drawn dream, these things, Spuranti, they all occur. Why do they occur? This is Ishvara Anugraha. The whole setup is Ishvara's knowledge. Ishvara's Anugraha is necessary here. What kind of dream you are going to have depends upon karma. Again, there is some kind of niyati, order, etc. in this. The fellow is helpless and some kind of viveka has to take place there. That is why we always want Ishvara Anugraha. What Vibhamas appear in this dream.
Vibhrama, you know what Brahma is, no? Vibhrama is just the emphasis. The Brahma, there is a wrong notion, delusion.
Brahma, no? Brahma.
Brahma.
Yeah. Yeah.
What Vibhamas appear in this dream? Tatra ke Vibhramaha spuranti. Swarga mokshadi Vibhramaha. Swarga mokshasu adau.
Swarga mokshau.
Swarga mokshau adau yesham Vibhramanam te Vibhramanam te Swarga mokshadi Vibhramaha. In the Vibhrama list, the top ones are Swarga and Moksha. What does that mean? If there is a Swarga Vibhrama, I want Swarga, so Karma Ganda becomes alive. Swarga, heaven I want, and therefore Niyoga, and the Punya to go to Swarga. Who will go for it? The Karta, the Adhigari will go. The very Yaga, Niyoga Vishaya, its Phalam, etc., all these become real for that person. Swargadi Vibhramas are there in Atmajnana Mahanidra.
They are all part of the dream-like state. So, like I told you, somebody says, I will do all the karmas as dictated by the Shastra because I want to go to Swargaloka. But it's also part of the same Mithya, dream-like Jagat.
Then, Mokshadi Vibhramaha, if you take Moksha as the Adi, Moksha as the main thing I want, then I am not interested in Swarga. I am not interested in Artha Kama, I want Moksha. This is Moksha Vibhrama. It is all in Swapna. That is why Vibhrama. I want Moksha means I want Adhigaritvam, Devi Guna, Devi Guna Sampat, Mumukshatvam, Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadama, Uparati, Tidiksha, Shraddha, Samadhanam. A little more elaboration. Amanitvam, Adambitvam,
Ahimsa kshantidarjavam shaucham maunamatma vinigraha.
13th chapter, Gita.
Amanitvam, Adambitvam, Ahimsa,
Adambitvam. Damba is a sense of superiority.
Pride.
Similar, this thing. Adamba is opposite. Humility.
Dambacharya. There's a Tamil version, Dambacharya. Pride, vain, pride in vain.
Yeah.
Ahimsa, Shanti, Arjav, Shanti, Arjavam, then
The 20 qualities.
Acharyopasanam.
The 13th chapter, 20 qualities they give.
Shaucham, Stairyam, Atma Vinigraha. Also, Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam.
Adveshta Karna Evacha Nirmamo Nirahankara Samalostashma Kanchana.
You read the Bhagavad Gita many times, you will all this know automatically come.
All these things must also be there. Understand that all these things are on the list of Vibhrama. Then afterwards, finally Guru. Guru Vibhrama, Shastra Vibhrama, Shishya Vibhrama. All these are Vibhrama.
This is what I was saying, that Karaka, he says this. Guru, Shishya, and all. What Guru, what Shishya? There is no Guru, there is no Shishya. Seen from the Paramarthika point of view.
But these are in Vibhramaha. Why? Because if it is Swargadi Vibhramaha, you will go to Swarga. That means the dream continues. You don't wake up. When you are after Artha, dream continues. Any Bhoga, dream continues. Kama, dream continues. Swarga, dream continues. For Moksha also the dream continues, but it is a particular dream wherein you wake up. Tattvamasi, the Shastra and the Guru wake you up. If you just say Han and then go back to sleep, that is what called a Pradibandha. Then, like you require a bucket of water, etc., to be woken up fully, so also here you require manana. All these things are required for this person to become totally awake. When he is fully awake, then all these things have no meaning because there is no agantuka moksha. Because nitya mukta muktaha atma. Therefore, karta, karma, phalam, karaka, pramana, etc., all of them are banditaha. All
Badita.
badita.
Badita. All you get.
Badita. Okay, sorry. All vyavahara is gone, badita.
Okay. We'll stop here today.
Hmm.
We already extended the time. We'll continue in the next one.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
Purnamada Purnamidam Purnam